Hi, and welcome to Conversations here on NTA. I have some lovely ladies in the conversation room today. I have Chinwe.
Hello, everybody.
And Inyobong.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the conversation room today. We have a very interesting topic. It's about children and what we can do with the holiday period. You know, it's summer, Naija summer. I'm not sure what the proper word to use is.
It's summer everywhere.
It's somewhere everywhere. Okay, so Naija summer, and the kids are home. Now, for convenience of most parents, they try and find some sort of activity for the child. You know, don't drive me up the wall. You know, you guys need to stay calm. I don't want you guys to be home because that might be hazardous. We don't know what you guys might be doing. So there's some activities out there that parents have adopted to keep the kids busy. I know your background in Obong is in education. So could you tell us about some of these activities?
I work in a school.
Okay.
And currently the school, we are on summer break. Students, I can't say for sure what students really do, but I'm sure, I know 90% of our students are abroad right now.
90?
Yes, I'm very sure of that. 90% are abroad. I know there's one particular student who caught my attention. She's into makeup. This girl is phenomenal. She went on a summer break. She went to London and studied makeup. So she's a professional makeup artist. And she said, I'm like, do you want to teach me? She's like, no, I can't teach because I'm technically speaking. I'm like, no, you can make some money because I'm going to pay you. But you see, that's one of the things that they do. I mean, you don't really have to be really all through. Come on. Especially, I have one who has his own YouTube channel. Yes, I mean, he has his own YouTube channel. So he does these things during holiday.
Okay.
And socially, they are there. So for maybe cooking, baking, extra reading, I don't know, but maybe she can tell us what she thinks. But right now, I think I'm not going to delve into the education part of it because I'm more on them trying to chill.
Have a good time.
Relax.
What do you think, Chiwe? Chill or read?
Well, I think it should be, there should be some kind of balance. I think it's time for them. At that time, they should be able to relax, do what they want to do, play around. And I think for most parents now, well, I don't have kids, but I have friends that do, and my sister has kids as well. And I think for most of them, they want them to develop some kind of soft skills so that they send them out to learn how to bake, how to braid hair, how to, or even maybe develop some kind of talent within them or enhance the talent that they might have. Maybe something like music, maybe to learn how to play one instrument or the other.
Okay.
And then for some other parents, I guess it's time, they're also exhausted. They're tired of school runs and all that. So they just want to send them out to some holiday camp, holiday school where those outfits come up with different programs for them where they can be away for some time, So I think, for me though, I think there should be some kind of balance.
Okay.
It should be a mixed.
Well, to be fair to you, I mean, I still have my own summer holiday, memories. My mother, she used to work very far from home, so she would just take us there, leave us at home, and go to work, and then before she's back, I have played and climbed all the trees. And, I was just everywhere. But she always made sure that on unexpected occasions, she'll make sure we read and we do spellings. So the more you fail, the flogging you get that day is at a different level. So just get ready. When she brings books out on summer holiday, just feel that everybody's going to cry because she allows you to play, and I am good at it. I will just play. But when she brings books, she expects you to read it when she's back from work. Then question and answer. You fail 1, 2 strokes. You fail 2, 4 strokes, and she's not joking. This man is not joking. This man will flog us. This woman will flog the life, So those days I hated.
Oh wow! Talk about memories. We'll take a quick break and listen to what the children think the holidays should be all about for them. We'll be right back after this.
I would like to spend my holiday playing with my friends, reading my books, staying at home, and I would like to celebrate and spend my holiday in my mom's state, which is Kogi.
I would like to spend my holidays engaging in lessons at school because actually our SSC exam is getting closer by the day. So, and I would like to go out with my friends and spend time with them also. And also, I would like to follow my father to his place of work because he promised me that he's going to take me out there.
I would like to spend my holiday in my state. I would like going out with friends, going out for lessons, reading my books, so on. Yes.
I would like to spend my holiday in an interesting and very educative way.
Like what activities are you planning to put?
Like one, I'm planning to go for lesson and for other international languages. And two, I would like to spend my holiday in my state, that is Cross River.
So we've heard from the children and what they think the holiday should be about for them. I don't know how many of you wrote those essays back then in primary school. They say how I spent my last holiday. Did you write one?
Oh, definitely I did. Growing up, I think it was more academics because I remember during the holidays we would have to go for some extra lessons. That's what we used to call them, the extra lessons. So that was the medium where we got to meet other children
from other schools.
From other schools, you know. So that was the thing at the time. But I think now things have changed. So I think these things change with time.
Yeah.
Also depending on the economic situation.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I mean? So that, you know, especially now where jobs are really hard to get, where no one is really banking on white collar jobs, so you have to look within. And that's why I established from the very beginning that most times parents want their kids to get develop some soft skills, you know, where so that if in case you don't get, you know, that white collar job, you can do something on your own.
On your own, yes.
And be an entrepreneur or, you know, just, you know, be a CEO of something that you have a flair for.
Yeah.
So I think these things have to do with the trends too, and, you know, what seems to be happening within a particular period, the circumstances around it.
But to be fair, we have different classes of people. I think we are centered around the, you know, elite sort of. What about those who are, you know, like in the village schools, what they do? I don't know if you've had any experience of going to the stream, you know, where people come out, you know, you are naked, you're just happy in the stream, you know, Monday morning, no school, it's a stream. You're hanging out with your friends, you know, one farm work to the other.
Yeah.
That experience, you know, the joy. And I know these things are still going on. Because I mean, we may be here, but I know that somewhere in somebody's village right now, somebody's in the stream. You know,
or maybe in the farm.
Or in the farm.
And
so it's probably more work for them. Probably
you know,
more
even
work
though
for them.
you carrying those firewood or walking all the way because you don't have the vehicles.
Yes.
But just gisting, you know, chatting with your friends and then gossiping a whole lot. It's fun.
Yes.
And you know, other people also enjoy visiting.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about people who don't have, you know, I mean, some people don't even take these lessons for anything. Some people just visit. What's up? I mean, you have social media, Facebook, everything.
Yeah.
So basically, any smartphone can do Facebook. So before you say, "Oh, I'll be right back, stay here," your daughter is already connecting with somebody else. Trying to skip the house.
Yes.
Through the window. Anyhow, they'll go and they're visiting. Nothing particular. They just want to see their friends during holiday. It's even worse for those who are in boarding house. They feel caged.
Yes.
So when they step out, it's more like, nah. You know? When they step out, for them, it's like, I have to visit everybody's house.
Yeah,
I have to know what everybody's doing.
But how much monitoring should we be doing when the kids are not in school? Because, you know, do you leave them at home? Is that safe?
For real, you can't monitor your children so much. What do you want to do? Put security systems. What do you really want to do? The most important thing is, I'm going to get biblical or religious. Train up a child in the way he should go. So you just leave them and believe that the training, discipline you have instilled in them should let them know that, okay, if you step out by 10,
You
be
need
back.
to get back.
Before I am back from
yeah.
work. If I tell you to wash the dishes,
You need to get
do
those
that.
done.
So you're saying we should step back and just...
Sometimes you need to chill.
Okay, did you have a curfew growing up? The time you needed to be home?
Not really, you know, buttressing what she just said,
Yeah.
train a child,
Yes.
you know, so nobody needed to tell you when you needed to be back home, you know. When it gets late or when it's getting dark, depending on how old
The child is.
you know, depending on how old you are at the time. But let's say maybe when I was still in primary school, before it gets dark, you should be home. Maybe that's 6-ish, between 6 and 7 you should be home. And maybe in secondary school, if you have to go out to visit friends, maybe before 8, 9, you know, so you should be back.
You should be back.
You know, and then even if you're not going to be around, you think you're going to be running late, you need to, you know, send a message across.
Back then, yeah.
There was landline.
But those landlines, were they really working back then?
They worked at
Sometimes they worked.
You know, also, another, when she said landline, I just remember another part of boredom for students who were on 10-term holiday or summer.
Yes.
Is, you know, when your mother is making a call downstairs or somewhere, you're taking the other landline and trying to eavesdrop.
Those were the kind of things that kept us busy during that period. Tapping lines.
It was fun, but well, you know, these children, and think you have kids, so tell us what are your expectations? What do you think?
We can,
So that we can learn, because we're learning.
Well, my kids are still very young. They're in preschool. They're just 3 years old. So, you know, some days they go to school, some days they take a break. So I don't think I've actually reached the stage where I'd have to monitor them so much when it comes to, you know, and then they have, you know, a nanny or two, an auntie or two that's watching over them. I can't leave them at home, clearly, at this age, you know. There was something that you mentioned, I think it had to do with extra lessons.
Yes.
Yes. Was it tied to any subject that you passed or didn't pass? Because I know in the cases of most parents, if you don't do well in maths, you're going to do maths lesson from that first week for the rest of the entire holiday. So I don't know if that was your case.
It depends. It depends, really. But growing up, it was more of a holiday school, you know, so where they took most of the subjects, you know, the general subjects, maths, English, then maybe if you're in the arts class, then they would have,
you go your way.
Yeah, you go that way. Then if it's science, you go that way.
Okay.
Then there were times also where maybe if you were not doing well in a particular subject, you have a lesson teacher, that will come home and drill you, you know, on a particular subject. Or, well, it depends. For some parents, they could afford that holiday school, summer school, summer camp, or whatever they called it, you know, and for others, it was a private thing. It was a one-on-one. So it depends on what the parents think, you know, would suit their child better. So, and I think back then it was almost more of work. There was less fun, or so that maybe the holiday school was for a period of the holiday, and after that, then you can do whatever you want to do. Maybe visit friends. I remember visiting. That was time to visit friends. You go from house door to door.
And you know something else we did when I was growing up was, I think that was when the emails was trending for my people, my peer. Emails, Facebook. When you say I poked you, you need to poke me back. And then, so we're always running to the cafe.
Cyber cafe.
Yes, cyber cafe. And it was so expensive. So for me, I didn't have all the money. So I would save up to go to the cafe every day.
So it was an
activity. You have to chat with your friends. You know, you have to do online. You need to have a Yahoo address. A Yahoo mail, yahoo.co.uk, yahoo.this, and it was connected to your nickname in school. So if you're like maybe Sassy or something, you're like Sassy at this and this, and then like, oh, this is my email, you know. So it was a big deal, you know. And before you know what is happening, the holiday is over. Lord. And for me, I was in a boarding house going back to school. It was fun, but I know one person who hated it, my sister. So we are going back to school is resuming on Sunday. My sister is sick from Saturday night. Are you serious?
So
and she's really sick. This girl is really ill. This girl is having fever. And I want to go back because I enjoy provision. I enjoy my provisions. I enjoy all those things. But my sister is 2 days we are home. Because this girl has to feel better.
Before she goes back.
And then the moment my parents leave the house, she's better. They are back and then she's so for God's sake.
Since this is your sector, you work in a school. Do you think that parents should take time off when children are home? Just because it will create some sort of a tighter bond between parents and child.
To be fair to you,
Why don't you take your leave when your children are home and then, improve on your relationship with your child, especially the teenagers?
This question is really technical for me because, the school I work with,
Yes.
we have really high-profile parents who don't even have the time for themselves. So I don't think any of them, if they're going to sacrifice 2 weeks max, do you understand me? 2 weeks max, but they're not going to have 2 months to run around with these kids. They are not going to have that. So, but see, asking what I think, I think it is safe to do that. But, it's only me thinking.
Yeah. What do you think, Chinwe?
Well, I think I'll still go back to the circumstances we find ourselves now and the economic situation. There's so much demand, on parents. There's so much competition. You have bills to pay. You have things to do. So most times parents are not, their way of finding that balance is getting all these holiday camps, for instance, that have all sorts of activities laid out for the kids. So I think the pressure is also on them, and they are trying to strike that balance by utilizing this outfits that have this programs for the kids. So sometimes you can't really blame them because they have to pay bills. But on the other hand as well, you have to also monitor your kids. You have to know what they want, what appeals to them and how you can impact their lives positively, so that when you're no longer there, they would know how to, move on with their lives. So I think it's a tricky one, but I think that's their way also of striking that balance, to make it work for both them and the kids.
Okay, but what about allowing the child to do exactly what they want to do? Letting a boy do football when he might not necessarily be inclined to playing ball. He might just love playing the clarinet or the trumpet. But, because daddy says I must play football, I must be, signed on to a summer football camp.
But I think sometimes you need to listen to the
kids.
You need to pay attention to them because they know what they want.
Yeah, you work with children a lot.
You think you know what your children want, but at the end of the day, they actually know what they want or have an idea. Some people, their ideas run wild.
Yeah.
So all you're supposed to do is just help to shape it.
True
just help to shape their ideas, not impose. So you guys work together, you talk, you communicate. It makes more sense. Another thing I was going to say is, with the emergence of social media, Snapchat, Instagram, and everything, we have to be very particular about the children we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some children right now don't want their parents because they have another parent, social media.
Yeah.
So you're technically talking to your child and the person is, it's annoying. So I'm sacrificing my job to be here with you, and I'm talking to you. You are doing this. How about now? No. So you should specify the age.
Yeah.
For the younger ones, the toddlers, they need you. You have to find time to be there. Or for the
the older ones,
maybe just 3 to SS1.
Yeah. In the case of my.
People have to talk this thing out.
Yes, there's lots of dialogue.
And then, exactly.
Yes.
We go out
and then
Sundays.
Sometimes they don't even know what they want. So that's where you come in as a parent to say, okay, how about this, and then let's
suggest.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know there's some tradition that I feel is starting to ebb away and fade in our Nigerian society? Dinner time.
Oh yes. I agree
Round
with
the
you.
table, talk, how was your day?
Bond. Yeah.
Everyone is just munching in front of the TV and sending the...
It's in the room now.
Right, take my plate to the kitchen, and dinner time back then was so important. It was such a great opportunity to know what was going on in your children's lives, what is going on in your wife's life, and I feel it's starting to disappear.
I wonder why that is, though.
It's time. It's sacrifice. It's from something is stealing the children's time, it is social media. Work is stealing the parents' time. So they have to find a way to make it work. They have to find a balance, a perfect balance. Else, we are going to lose it.
So,
trust me.
so basically, that could be a way, a channel where they could come together.
Find a balance.
Yeah, come together.
If you are having dinner time, maybe you fix it. I mean, don't make it
too rigid.
Too rigid.
You know,
exactly. Maybe
say,
weekends.
Okay, Thursdays, Sundays dinner. You drop your phones. Let's just do dinner. Let's talk. So if you're quarreling with mommy, because you know some of us actually quarrel with mommy sometimes.
Yes, yes, yes.
You can actually try to make up
with her then
during that period.
Just
yeah.
try to talk. You know, try to laugh, try to love your family. Because another thing is, with all this stuff going on, some children have best friends outside. Not even close to their siblings.
Yeah.
It's painful. Some mothers think, oh, siblings should be close, but it's painful. That's the time you need to bond. That's the time you need to show a little love.
Yeah.
Maybe the last piece of meat, who is going to take it? I would love to take it. Just take it because you're younger, you know, stuff like that.
I think that's fantastic. So for the ladies out there that are watching and in the conversation room with us, that dinner table, please remove your printer, remove your markets, whatever it is you're selling, remove the bottle of granules. Let's have proper dinner time. Let's bring back dinner time in Nigeria. Make up everything, just clear the table, you know.
You know. And also try to make the meal interesting. Don't tell me I'm going to have dinner with you and then you're bringing the Gary and Super 8 yesterday. Don't do that.
But it's hard. It's hard to start making fresh soup every day for some women.
Oh my gosh, it's hard.
My husband can sometimes do that. I said that yesterday Zephyr, but it's sometimes pretty hard. I have to admit. I bring out the second day Zephyr sometimes.
I mean, for
sometimes.
the dinner, like if you tell me you're going to have a special dinner, where I'm supposed to drop my phone.
Yeah, you plan towards it.
The special. Okay.
Chicken,
that could work. That could work.
Beef, you know? try to make
Okay,
it
so dinner should be special. Dinner time should be special.
Planned dinner time, not just
you know
regular
when
dinner.
I have to drop my phone and speak with you. Try to
make it worthwhile.
Yeah. If you're next one, I'm not going to keep it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So what are the other things that we can do, the kids can do during the holiday? I think community service. I remember growing up and after school, and no thanks to ASU then, so we couldn't go straight into university. So I remember picking up a job where I made some money, and I tell you that made me very independent. I don't have to depend on. I was able to buy the little things, you know, the cream, you know, stuff like that, and I also picked up, you know, skills, you know, those little things that can help you with a job when you start a job for the first time, you know, so that nobody needed to teach me those things while I was on the job.
Yes.
So I think, and another thing is you see that even abroad, you know, you see very young people picking up this small summer jobs, and we don't tend to see things like that happen here.
Especially community service jobs where you're not actually paid volunteer work.
Exactly, volunteer work, that's another thing. Yeah. And the funny thing is when we go there, we see ourselves doing those jobs, but when we're here, we tend to be ashamed.
No, it's not about being ashamed, it's enlightenment. People don't know. People, store owners, the malls, they don't know that a child can actually walk in and you can give them something to do if they ask.
Would their parents even allow them? That's the first thing.
Would you let your child go to a mall and arrange baked beans or tinned tomatoes?
I know the owner of the shop.
If.
But I can allow. I will allow. And also if my child shows me that he or she is responsible enough, you know, to go there and behave in a proper manner. For real. Because I'm saying it because I grew up way too fast. Okay. And then at the age of 14, I was very, so if at 14 if I had this kind of idea, trust me, I'll be making lots of money by now because, in fact, I don't know. The
average Nigerian mom can be a little paranoid. Let me just tell you that. So rather than send my child to go and work in any supermarket, come and sell Tom Tom or whatever. Sorry, I said Tom Tom. Come and sell sweets or juice or zobo right in front of my house. Let me see you. Rather than send them out there to be exposed to anything?
Well, I tend to disagree because from just when I was in a boarding house, when my mother did not know what was going on there, you know, so when I am back, she trusts that I can take care of myself. So if I had any idea of a summer job, she would let me do it.
If that is, if you had what about her? Would she tell you, oh, go and do this?
I mean, sorry, but it never happened. Probably because she did not know that's what this program is meant for.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Mothers out there, you should allow your kids to do summer jobs.
Yes, to do summer
And
jobs.
store owners, shop owners, allow them, please. Give them a little
stipends, yeah.
So, you know,
something to encourage them.
To encourage them,
to
yeah.
boost the confidence.
Yep.
To boost a lot of confidence. Maybe they okay, I can make money so I can save.
Yeah,
So
and then you can learn one or two things while you're on the job.
A lot of kids are so dependent on pocket money or won't even do their work or chores.
Also,
it's all tied to pocket money.
Yep.
So why not make your own money? Let's see how it goes.
Parents should try to expose their children to their occupation. Like I remember following my dad to his office. My father is a lawyer. I know I used to follow him to the office. Not that I didn't used to do much. I know I've gone with him to court. All his colleagues, they know me. They've seen me grow up.
Yeah.
You know, but it gave me this idea that maybe I can be a lawyer someday. I admired him. If your father is a medical doctor, go with him to the office. Try to understand what he does. You know, it will help shape your idea on what to be in the future. Those exposures, they really matter. Not just staying in the house, doing social media, visiting friends, eating all my food. No!
Now that you mentioned that, I also think that it's important for parents to allow their kids have some kind of role model, someone that they look up to, you know, that can direct them, you know, and help them with decision making and, you know, and all that. That would also help to, you know, give them some kind of
someone that can mentor them.
Yes, exactly. You know, to take them from one level to the next, you know, guide them basically. And
also, parents should, I don't know if I should use the word should or must, teach their kids how to read books other than academic books.
Which is true.
Trust me. If you read one page in a day, no matter how hard, read at least one page. At a very tender age.
Yes.
We will have, I mean, we already have phenomenal leaders in Nigeria. We already have great people, but we will, this nation is going to explode.
Yeah,
I
if
agree
we
with
do
you.
that.
Totally.
Well, that brings us to studying, reading, and when we get back, we'll be talking about study habits, especially when it comes to children, the kind of study habits that children need to cultivate. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys, they're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
So, study habits, what works best for you? In my own personal situation, there was this transition between hard copy and, you know, everything being soft online copy. And all that, soft copies. And sometimes when I have like a 70-something page document to read, I'd actually go and print it and make notes on it. And that's how it sticks for me. That's how studying works for me. If I don't see it in hard copy, it probably won't stick. If I'm seeing it on the screen, I need to refer to something like 10 pages ago and everything. If it's a hard copy, that's best for me. I don't know what's your own attack or plan of attack when it comes to reading.
I'm not great at reading.
Really?
I'm telling you, I regret it. I regret it. But I remember growing up, I studied a lot. My mom especially used to buy me these Bumblebee books, you know, that came in packs.
Yes.
So I used to read a lot. But somewhere along the line,
What happened to you?
I don't know.
Wait.
Somebody help. Somewhere along the line, I lost it. But I also think that it's something that we should incorporate, you know, with kids. You know, they should learn at an early stage to read. You know, because it gives them a broader mind, you know, and it exposes them to all sorts, you know, books on adventure, all sorts, you know.
Something that broadens their mind.
Yeah, that broadens their mind, and it helps in the long run because it helps you see the different sides to life or different perspectives, you know, so that we're not just, you're more objective in your thinking, in your approaches and all that. And if it's something that it's imbibed in kids from a very young age, I think it goes a very long way in helping them, you know, approach life from a better perspective, from a better view, you know.
Well, I have a very weird reading experience.
Okay.
Because I think, first of all, I was uncomfortable with the tiny writings on books. So the moment I started reading, I have tears on my eyes. So that was uncomfortable for me.
Wow.
Interesting.
And I never used to understand the vague words, and you know those big grammars. I'm not good with it, you know. So as I'm reading and I see one big one, I just spell it out and leave it there. So understanding the meaning of this word was a problem.
Oh, okay.
So I had issues reading, and I know there's so many children who have issues reading till now.
And you think it's
the
because
thing
of
was, for me, it was about passing. Okay. Pass.
Yeah.
But however I passed, I know I had issues reading. So what I discovered is as I grew up, I only read things that interest me. If I see you read a book on something that I am interested in, I will finish it. But if you give me maybe exams in school, until maybe 1 week to exams, then I'll start, you know, I'll look at the intelligence tips, you know, we are besties, we are friends, because you have to teach me.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure you teach me. But as you're talking to me, everything you tell me, as far as I trust you to be factual, it sticks.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to go and read those things, it's a
harder
problem. So I only read things that interest me. The whole biology, all those things, no. So if I'm in class and the teacher is teaching, then I am good. But I'm not going to go back to those notes.
Those kind of things,
Except the things I jotted while he was talking. Those are the things and it helped me. But I know reading is a habit one should inculcate, because you know you have to read to show yourself that you are approved. You have to read to show yourself approved. But I know different people have different issues
when it comes to reading.
Different people have different approach to reading. So I don't know. I think this conversation, this is a very emotional topic for me, because I don't know how I grew out of it, but I know somehow. If you come into my house now, you see books everywhere. There are books everywhere. I have read almost everything. Okay. Now I'm a voracious reader. I'm very voracious, but I don't know where I got that from. Because I know growing up, I didn't like. You
didn't like reading.
I didn't understand the books.
Maybe it would have helped. Maybe it would have helped if you had audiobooks,
or even a dictionary by your side, if you didn't understand.
I had a very big dictionary. My father would buy a dictionary for everybody when you get it at JS3. You have a dictionary. You know, but it didn't help.
I'm so glad you're talking about this, because there are some women that are out there and wondering what's wrong with their child. Their child just doesn't seem to be interested in reading, you know, and they can relate to what you're saying right now.
But you know, I know it wasn't about prayers. I'm not going to go spiritual. I'm not going to pray. No. I found what I was interested in.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so for you, it had to be something that would...
yes.
You know, that would interest you.
Exactly.
That would, you know,
pull
you.
If I like you as a person, I like you, and I'm talking about a particular person, a particular author, John Grisham, name it.
Yeah.
And you are interested in that person, before the
automatically
next meeting, give me 1 week, I'm reading all his books.
So
we
have something to talk about.
Okay.
You understand? So that was how it was through people. And I met somebody I liked.
Yeah.
If you liked reading, then you are my friend, because I will read what you are reading.
Okay.
You know, so it was by referral I started reading, and then I know that I have some people in my life that if they've read this book, I'm reading it.
That's how it works for you.
Yeah. But I know just doing that, I have read a lot. I have read a lot. From reading one, I have to read one book at least in a month.
Yeah.
In fact, I am even buying my books. I'm writing the dates. I bought this book. So because for me, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Trust me, it was depressing.
Yeah.
I know there were times when I cried because I couldn't read.
You couldn't read.
It was depressing.
I don't know.
It was depressing.
Like I said, I have toddlers, and I haven't actually been very good with the whole story time, reading to them. My girl once she sees a book, she's opening it and looking at the pictures. My son will walk right past the books, and he'll pick building blocks. He loves building blocks and things like that. So, you know, with kids, I don't know if things like story time, is it a Western idea?
Is it really? No,
an African idea? I haven't really wrapped my head around the idea of sitting by the bed and reading stories to them. I know one will sit down and listen to me. The other one is going to be like, oh no, I can't sit down and watch. I can't do this, you know. So I don't know about the approach when it comes to getting children to listen to story times, especially when clearly they're not really interested in it.
You know, I grew up with this. One time in my life, I grew up with a family that she had 4 girls. Very lovely family. So the last one, who wasn't in school yet, I noticed there's an approach she used that I think we can adopt. You know this whole ABC they sell, hold ups and all. Yes. They're very colorful, they're really nice, you know, it's fancy. So on her walls, she has them everywhere. Yeah. So you're sleeping by 6 a.m. This girl is up. She's shouting A for apple, B for. Yep. It's sticking. She's getting used to it. Yeah. And she did that, and she could. This girl was saying times table because she was seeing it there.
Yes. They created the environment.
What she's doing, but
the environment.
The pictures.
Like it. Those things. So I think somehow you can actually, you know, psych your children towards
those things.
Enjoying
reading. Yeah, with pictures, with colorful images and stuff like that. Yes.
Stories. From storybooks, you can get them. But what about people who didn't have storybooks growing up? What about people who couldn't afford to even be pulled up to see those color stuffs? You understand?
There was always Tales by Moonlight.
I was going there.
Tales by Moonlight. Television, because I didn't have television growing up.
But it could be your grandma or something. Your grandma telling you some story, being very dramatic.
Growing up. So I would go to my neighbors. I'll stand by the window, you know, and you have to watch. Then if my parents catch me, beat me, you know. So but I know my elder sister. She's fantastic. She's a good writer. She reads everything. That girl reads everything.
She has a flair for it. I think another thing from the parents now, I think they need to be consistent, because sometimes, especially as kids, you're going to resist. Sometimes you'd resist. I remember when I had to be with my nephew and niece at some point, because their parents were not going to be around because they went for some burial, so I had to be with them, and I had to continue with the routine that my sister had.
You can't break that.
You know, and I remember, especially the boy. You know, boys tend to be more. They are easily distracted. So for him, I had to be very firm. You know, because they would always want to resist. They want to do something else. But you need to make that effort, you know, to make sure that even if it's a page a day, so that they get used to that. They're always going to say, no, I don't want to read, or at some point they start well, and then maybe then you have to look for ways to bring them back, or maybe give them a treat to say, if you do this, I'll give you this. If you're able to complete this, I'll give you this. But I think you need to be consistent.
You need to.
Yes, I think you need to be consistent in.
So what do you say about people who read and they really want to read? I mean, you don't know what is in someone's mind. It's what they tell you that you take, right? But you know, they are carrying this book and the next thing
they're sleeping off.
Well, that's different. Maybe it's time for
that. You're not stressed.
It just
you know we mentioned being rigid. We can't be too rigid, right? But we also have that. It's about balance. You know, at the end of the day, too, you need to know it's a give and take thing. So you have let's say you have a routine.
Yeah.
There will be times when they feel sleepy. When you know they are really sleepy, you let them be.
Yeah.
Let them be. Then Other times you can use treats to bring them back home. Other times you need to be firm and let them know that this is serious business. So it's about knowing when to utilize those.
So do you think time affects reading?
Oh, yes.
I mean, for children.
Yeah.
Yes, it has to be the right time. Yeah, timing. Yeah, that's why I say there has to be some kind of maybe timetable, and so that they will also know that this is time for this.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And then you stick to it. You need to be consistent. It's not today you start by 2, then tomorrow you start by 4.
What about
so they
the
have
role
to get
of,
used to
educational toys? Educational.
Oh yes, all those things help.
They help.
Yes, definitely.
But, you know, I like the fact that she always takes it back to the grassroots.
Exactly.
Did we have educational toys? Do we have educational toys in the village?
I think we did. Yes, exactly. We did. We did. Even what
the ones with the seeds. Yes.
Yes. Oh yes, exactly. So seeds. Yes, helped us with counting. Exactly.
4 minus 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. You need to build their trust by reading up ahead of them.
Yeah.
If you can get their curriculum, because schools have curriculum now, so you try to read up at night before they come back. You're a superstar. They will respect you.
Of course.
They will. But you know, the moment they come with this assignments and stuff, and you can't help them.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
You work in a school. How many parents come and ask for the curriculum?
Oh, a lot.
Really?
Yes. In fact, you don't ask for it, you send it to you.
Okay.
You have to have the curriculum. In fact, we have days where there's a break for parent-teachers conference. So parents are expected to come to school and talk one-on-one with the teachers. You ask them, how far, you know, what's my child slacking? What is this child, you know, what is his height? What is his low point? And the child is there, the student is there. So
I was also going to ask, okay.
Yes, let's get to talk. So parents know. So we make sure that parents are involved with their students' education. No matter how busy you are, you have to.
Can I just chip this in? I like I mentioned earlier, I don't have kids, but I have friends that have kids, and some of them tend to complain these days that the schools give the kids too much work. Too much work. Too much work that they don't even have the time to even assist. Sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And sometimes they feel that it's way too much for the kids at the levels that they are.
Yeah.
You know, what's your take on that?
Have you read up on Korea educational system or China?
No.
Try. Just do that. These people study around the clock. So I don't know what parents mean by
too much
workload being too much. You paid for your students to go and learn. Learning is what they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. There should be learning.
Sometimes there's no space, there's no time for them to be kids.
And what's the limit? As in, where do you draw the line? This is way too much for the kids to absorb.
We have a system, governing system that tries to regulate the educational system, the curriculum, and all that. So the Federal Ministry of Education is not going to think it is poor for it to teach this number of subjects in a day, because they've had a team of experts review that and know that for so and so age group, this is proper for them.
Reading in the morning and reading in the midnight, because that is when virtually our environment is very calm and you can actually understand whatever you are reading at that midnight of the day.
I read anytime in the afternoon. It all depends on what I'm reading and how interesting it is.
I read every day. When I wake up in the night, I read. I read on the network. I use my phone. I read books. I read books like this.
You go to somewhere interesting like swimming pool, parks, and some other interesting places.
No, I don't read often.
Why?
Because of the nature of business I do. Only on Sundays, and mostly I read Bible. Yes.
Very early in the morning, Immediately when I wake up from bed, I feel like to read my book, and I assimilate fast by that time. Yeah.
I love reading. You learn when you read. You update your vocabulary when you read. You update your information system when you read. You're in tune with what goes on around you when you read. You know what's going on in other people's minds when you read. You're not just so full of yourself and your own knowledge. Ideally, I like reading in a coffee shop where there's air conditioner, because air conditioner makes me think better. I understand better where there's cold air, so I like reading in a coffee shop.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. See if she wants to ask something. No, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that, and I said,
So what's the best kind of reading environment for you?
I
Early
think
morning, late night?
Oh, I think I realized while I was in school that it's best in the morning. It's best in the morning. That works for me, especially before the hustle and bustle of the day starts. You know, distractions here and there. I think I'm able to assimilate better in the early hours, and it has to be a calm environment for me, you know. But before then, when I was in secondary school, I think reading with music actually helped me.
Yeah, I was like that too.
Reading with music, as in very soft music, not loud music, but you know, just something in the background playing. It helped me. Okay. You know.
But what about you?
I was more of a study group reader. You know.
Oh yeah, study groups.
Where you guys discuss.
You brought back memories.
You know. You discuss.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, you read this topic, you read this topic, you then present it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
me,
it helps.
It helps. And when you tell me to read, that I'm going to present.
It brought out the best.
Conscious effort that I have to read, because I know that I'm a brain buster, so I have to prove a point. I have to prove myself. So, but really, reading in the middle of the night works for me because everybody's sleeping, and I don't expect anybody to catch me reading. So you don't know I'm reading, you know. So at that point, I'm just reading because maybe I can't sleep, maybe I can't focus. I pick a book and read, and I can go 2, 3, 8 hours if nobody sees me. The moment anybody catches me reading,
just go on.
I'm off.
Really?
Yes.
You're lucky. I wish I could do that.
You just see me reading, I'm done.
When do you think one is too old to read, or is it something that you just keep on?
No, I think it's something that, you know, it's being educated is not just about knowing one thing at a particular time or restricting yourself. I think it's something you just keep, because things keep changing, right? You know, and new perspectives keep coming up, and you need to update yourself somehow. So I think it's something that should be ongoing, as in it's you can't stop even in your old age.
No, you can't.
I think the only time you can stop is when you actually stop breathing.
Yeah, I had to open Twitter handles for my mom and my dad. So,
right.
Yeah, because you know, buying newspapers after a while started to get a bit stressful for me. So you know, here's your handle. Yeah, that's your phone.
Exactly.
So now they're telling me what's going on out there because I'm so busy doing other things and all that. Busy with the children. They're like, oh, have you heard this place is on fire? How do you know? Twitter.
You just cannot stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can't stop, because if you feel okay academically, I have graduated from school, I don't want to do masters, I'm going to do my business, and you don't want to read. But what about when you see a book that interests you? It's still reading.
Yeah.
You know, what about when you actually want to improve your business?
Exactly.
You're still reading. Even though you say, okay, I don't want to read, I'll go for a seminar and will teach me. And the slides are there, you still have to read. They're handouts, you know. And then some professional courses, professional people do medicine, nursing, engineering. You have to go for exams. From one step to the other. You know, so you have to read to update yourself.
Exactly.
You know, technology, especially engineering, where you have different technologies coming out, and you say you want to stop reading. Or you say you don't like to read. I mean, you have to read.
You just have to.
You have to read.
And things have evolved. There are audio books now, so you can just lie down there while someone is reading one sentence after the other, and it'll stick.
And to be fair to you, there is actually no profession in this life that you don't have to read.
True.
There's actually no profession.
Especially if you want to be the best that you can, and you want to stay relevant and for a long time too. You just have to keep updating.
Look at what we are doing, for instance. A little reading helped us.
Yes.
It helped us, yes. So if I came here and I have no idea about reading,
you wouldn't make all the input that you have
exactly,
today.
You know, so you have to read.
And there were some fantastic things that you said that, you know, it's even made me think, okay, I need to try that myself. Yeah.
But you know, there's some people who actually read for posing sake. You know, when you go out, oh boy. You can be in a maybe gathering like this, and then one person is just there posing with a book. Like, are you serious, madam? We are trying to have a conversation. We're trying to. It could be a meeting.
Yeah.
And then she's all bored. But if you don't want to be here, you don't have to.
You don't have to be.
So I think we discuss environments, you know, where people's reading actually affects the other person.
Yeah, or reading seems to be rude because you're reading stuff on your phone, and I'm trying to talk to you.
You could be in a seminar and be in the second row.
Yeah.
So you feel nobody's seeing you, and then somebody who has wasted his time to do research is presenting, and then you are doing this and you are reading. No,
it's not even fair. Anyway, I'm sure at some point we'll have a conversation about etiquette, because that's a different ball game altogether. It's a different ball game altogether.
But seriously, nobody should stop reading.
Yeah, and back to what we were talking about, especially for the children and summer camps and things like that we talked about during the program. I think what we need to take home for everyone, especially our listeners today, is that you need to do what is in the best interest of the child. Not what mommy wants, not what daddy wants, but what that child really needs at that point in time. And we talked about age groups and things like that. Pick an activity that is right for that child. You know, I think it's very important.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. See if she wants to ask something. No, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that, and I said,
Remember to join us and our conversations on our social media platforms available right there on your screen. So today we've been talking about children and appropriate holiday activities. What activities do you think are appropriate for your children, for instance? Like us on Facebook and tell us what you think. And then we talked about our reading cultures, reading habits, you know, what works for you. Why don't you let us know what you think is your best reading culture? So that's all the time we have for conversations today. My name is Nika. We'll see you again some other time, and with me has been
Shinwe and Robin.
Thank you so much, and see you again soon.